Okay, you guys, so this is going to be another story time video. You guys seem to like those, so I'm going to share one with you. Now, back when I was living in Brooklyn, I'm in Staten Island right now, but back when I was living in Brooklyn, I had my very first apartment, and things were going good. I was around maybe 20, 21, I believe. Still young, whatever. And I had my son with me, and I forgot how old he was at the time, but let me just back up. In my building, I lived on the second floor. Yeah, I lived on the second floor of my apartment, and it was three stories, a three-story building. Kind of real private. Actually, it was a three-family little brownstone type of thing. So it was somebody living upstairs, but there was an old lady and she moved out. And then there was my neighbor that was living downstairs, which me and her we still are, really, really tight. And then there was someone living in the basement of the apartment. So she wasn't supposed to be living there. I think she was living there illegally, but at the time we had like a slumlord, so that's just a whole nother story. Alright, so back then I was really, really close with my family, my sister and her boyfriend at the time. We were all cool, whatever. So me and my sister were out doing something. My son was in school. Yeah, he was in school. And me and my sister were out. We were doing something. I don't know. I think I went to go pick her up or something like that. And we were just walking around in the city. But then I got a phone call. Yes, I had a cell phone back then. It was like the Mickey Mouse AT&T phone. I love that phone. I wish I still had it. But anyway, so I get a phone call. And it is my sister's boyfriend. Because I don't think my sister had a phone at the time. So, what? Background check. Okay. So, yeah, my sister didn't have a phone at the time, so she would communicate with him through my phone. So he called, and he was like, kind of like frantic or whatever. So I'm like, what's wrong? Because while we were out, we were running a little late. So somebody had to go pick up my son from school and just wait, in front of my building until me and my sister got back. That was my sister's boyfriend. He, agreed to do it or whatever. So while they were sitting outside, this is what he's telling me over the phone. The girl in the basement, she seemed to, I don't know, I had a problem with her before. Like, she would be turning off my lights. Like, she just did not like me for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason was, but she could not stand me. And the feeling wasn't mutual. Like, I could care less about her. I just didn't know why she didn't like me, but whatever. So those two were, those two. My son and my sister's boyfriend were waiting outside, sitting on the steps or whatever, waiting for me and my sister to come back to let them in the house. So we all could go in the house. And so he said to me that the girl in the basement had something to say about my son. She called him a name or something. And it went on from there. So of course, he's going to call me first. He was like, where are you? I'm like, we're close. We'll be there in like 10, 20 minutes. Don't worry about it. When I get there, we'll see what's going on. So we get there and he's upset or whatever. And I can't really remember every detail, but to sum it up, I basically approached her when I saw her because we waited. We went upstairs. I let the kids in or whatever. And because they are younger than me. It's my younger sister. And well, she's like right after me. So I let them in upstairs, but I was pissed off because I'm like, okay, these are babies. You're basically out here, starting with kids. Just because you don't like me or you have a problem with me, that has nothing to do with my kids. Because like I said, me and her had a history of her turning off my lights because she controlled all of the lights in the basement. And she would turn off my lights, like, just being petty, real petty, stupid stuff that I would just, like, let go. From that point on, I was just brushing off everything that she did and what she was doing and threatening me and all of this crazy stuff just because she did not like me. There was no reason. I didn't do anything to this girl. She just didn't like me. So I'm sorry, y'all, if I keep flip-flopping, but you're following me. I know you are. So, all right. So I let them in the house. We all in the house, and she wasn't home at the time. So I waited until she got home because I don't know where she went, but she wasn't home. So as soon as I found out that she was home, I told them, stay here. Do not come downstairs. I'll be right back. I'm going to go handle this. Because my thing is, you can mess with me all you want, but don't fuck with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck with my kid. don't fuck with my sisters, don't fuck with my brother, because at the time he was like my brother-in-law, so don't fuck with him either, because he was upset, and he's not the confrontational type, and even if he was, he wasn't going to do it in front of my son, because it was his responsibility at the time to watch after my son. So let that be there. So this is all that's going on in my head as I'm walking down the steps to go confront this girl and find out what the fuck her problem was and why you calling my son names. So I get down there and I'm talking to her. I'm like, yo, do you have a problem? Like, what's going on or whatever? Like, we're exchanging words and whatever. And you know what? After the words were exchanged and she was all like, you know, ready to throw down, basically, like she was, I guess in her head, she was thinking, yes, this is my time to fight her because I can't stand her. Little does she know, I don't really do words too much. I don't really do all the rah-rah. I'm ready to punch you in your face. And that's exactly what I did. I'm not condoning violence at all, but you guys, you are mothers. Some of you are mothers. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't mess with my children. Period. Enough said. Don't mess with my children. And then you know, all of the other stuff with that. So, I don't know, you guys. I just saw red. I saw red. I was like, oh my God, like she's saying all of this stuff like right in my face. And I just couldn't take it no more. And I hauled off and punched her. I punched her so hard because we were in front of my building. I punched her so hard that she flew into the building. Like she flew into the building. All of a sudden, my neighbor from the second floor, she comes downstairs. This is the same neighbor that had the guy fenced up about my... Okay, y'all, so I don't know where I was left off. I think I left off by saying I saw red and I was trying to kill this girl. Like I was beating her head into the floor and just punching her all in her face. And it took my neighbors to pull me off of her, and it was just crazy. Like, needless to say, I beat her ass. Like I beat her ass. That was my first fight ever, because I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. Nah, I'm not a fighter. I don't like confrontations. I don't like nobody, you know, messing with me or anything like that. So I try to avoid those situations, and I think I did a pretty good job up until that day. But it was just like, you don't mess with my children. That's when I just draw the line. Like, that's it. Like, don't mess with my children. I can't take it when people mess with my kids. So yeah, after that, after the fight, about 2 days later or so, she moved out. She left because, well, not 2 days, I'm exaggerating. It had to be maybe like a week or two. She moved out because the entire neighborhood was, they just couldn't get over it. Like, I was getting high fives when I was just going to the store because, like I said, it was a fight outside, and then it, like, when I punched her, she flew through the doors, and then we were inside my building, and of course a fight in the neighborhood. Everybody and their mamas is coming to see who's fighting, what's going on, and yelling, and there's all of this craziness. People were high-fiving me, talking about, girl, you whip her ass, and I'm like, I wasn't feeling so good about it, but like I said, certain situations, you have to throw your hands. Like, I just wasn't going to deal with her no more. But yeah, she moved out, and it was hilarious, and that was it. She never said anything to me the whole time, the rest of the time that she was living there. She didn't turn my lights off anymore. I didn't even really see her anymore. So it was just, I guess she was trying to avoid me because she knew my schedule. But it was crazy. So yeah, that's it. If you guys like this story time video, hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I will talk to you all later. Bye.